Hello and welcome to Bible Study with Alice, and today we're on day 62, Psalm 62 of our daily psalm reading. We are reading from the ESV translation, but you're more than welcome to join us from a different translation. As you can see, we are on Psalm 62. These videos are filmed in real time. Today's date is the 4th of January 25. You can find the previous 61 Psalms in the playlist below. There is a disclaimer as usual, and that is one, that these videos are unedited and also I probably stumble my wording. Let's get started. My soul waits for God alone. To the choir master, according to Jeduthun, a psalm of David. For God alone my soul waits. In silence from him comes my salvation. He alone is my rock and my salvation. My fortress, I shall not be greatly shaken. How long will all of you attacking man batter him? Like a leaning wall, tottering fence, the only plan to thrust him down from his high position. They take pleasure in falsehood. They bless with their mouths, but inwardly they curse. Selah. For God alone, O my soul, waits in silence, for my hope is from him. He only is my rock and my salvation, my fortress, I shall not be shaken. On God's rest, my salvation and my glory, my mighty work, my refuge is God. Trust in him at all times. O people, pour out your heart before him. God is a refuge for us. Selah. Those of low estate, but are a breath. Those of high estate are delusion. In the balance they go up. They are together lighter than a breath. Put no trust in exaltation. Oh my gosh, Alice. So again, verse 10. Put no trust in extortion. Set no vain hopes on robbery. If riches increase, set not your heart on them. Once God has spoken, twice I have heard this, that power belongs to God, and that to you, O Lord, belongs steadfast love, for you will render to a man according to his work. So that is Psalm 62 complete, and tomorrow we will be doing Psalm 63. For all new viewers, I will now put onto the screen a post-it note which will briefly outline Psalm 62. And before I get started with it, I just want to explain something. I explain this in all the videos, so you can go into the playlist and you can find all this out. So with the Psalms, when they were written, obviously they were written thousands of years ago, historians and scholars, they go by information on it's really hard to explain. So when they write the psalm, when they evaluate the psalm, that's better, and do their research into it, they come up with a rough idea, an estimated time that it was written. Sometimes they can establish when that psalm was written to where it's not written. And when it's not written, they just class it as unknown. And sometimes, though, there could be a specific event that's been specified in the psalm, and the historians and scholars will then know that that psalm was written during that event in history, so they kind of have an idea of, okay, so this psalm was written during this event, so we know that event has happened and that's when that psalm was written. They might not know the exact year type of thing, century, whatever you want to describe it as. They don't know that part to the psalm. But with Psalm 62, it is unknown, so they don't know whether it was actually written, like as in the year it was written, but they do know it was during, I'll make it a little bit bigger, during Absalom, which is King David's son, his rebellion against David. It's mainly trusting in God alone, and it's a message of hope and peace. God is worth the wait, basically. That's kind of how we go with it. There's no event associated with Psalm 62, so there isn't actually like an event that we could go, oh, this psalm is written during this particular thing, because there's no event associated with it. But with Psalm 62, it is most likely to be a general expression of David's faith in God. So that's mainly what's going on there. There is a couple of times when Salah has been mentioned. We will go back to here. Salah is obviously at the top. It's a rest, a pause, or a reflection. So when the psalmist, so obviously the psalms are songs, they all prayers, but they're usually sung. That's what I mean when I say that. So they are, when they were written and back in that time period, these psalms were sung. And when you sing, you've obviously got to take a break from straining vocal cords. So obviously you need a rest or a pause on that, and also a reflection of what's been said beforehand. This bit at the top has been mentioned, I have mentioned it yesterday, because it does get mentioned, I won't say in every single psalm, because clearly if we look at this now and then look at tomorrow's psalm, you can clearly see what I'm going to say isn't actually true. But we have come across to the choir master according to Jedum, a Psalm of David. And what I mean by that is at the top of 61, to the choir master of a string instrument of David. To the choir master according to Shezum Edith. And then if we go here to 59, to the choir master according, do not destroy a Mecum of David. And then to the choir master according, do not destroy a Mecum of David. And we're kind of getting a general idea that choir master is generally mentioned in a lot of the psalms. But then obviously, as we can see from 63, it doesn't get mentioned. But a choir master is known as a chief musician, refers to the leader of the temple. So what that's supposed to mean is the choir master is the person who is in charge, who is the main musician, main psalmist, so to say, the main person who does the singing or takes control of how the music is portrayed, and it's usually the leader of the temple. So that's what the choir master means. As I said, if we look at tomorrow, just briefly, we won't obviously go into tomorrow's psalm, but in the context of what I'm going with, it doesn't get mentioned. So we know that not all the psalms has that, but there are, as we have looked, quite a number of psalms that does say it. And if you're reading from the ESV translation. I haven't got my King James version to hand, but as you looking, even if you do have a King James version to hand, it'd be interesting to know what it does say in that translation. But if you're looking at the ESV translation, you can then see that it does get mentioned quite a few times to the choir master. So that is Psalm 62 complete. But before I finish, I will quickly mention that even though I just said I don't have my King James version to hand, I do read from it. It's just not to hand. And also, when we're doing these Bible study, you are more than welcome to join us from a different translation. Yes, the wording will be different. I'm fully aware of that. But I find to do this Bible study, I need a translation that I'm able to read from. I do love the King James version, but if we've established that I'm not very good at pronouncing words and I stumble and then we will obviously establish that King James version is not going to help. It's just probably going to make it worse. So I just want to make that one known, that even though I do read from the ESV translation, I do have a King James version and I do read from it quite a lot. As I just said, I haven't got it to hand though. That's the only disadvantage. I'll have to get my hands on it basically, so I can obviously show you the differences in the translation, which obviously will always work from the ESV, because we've already completed 62 Psalms already, so it's just obviously wise to continue with it. But I can also show you the differences between the different translations. So if you're reading from the King James version and then you're going, oh Alice, I'm not too sure, that doesn't say that here, at least then I'm able to kind of point you out what the difference is between the two translations. So thank you for watching. I really do appreciate you watching my videos and being with me on this journey. Please like my content, I would really appreciate that. Please subscribe to my channel, also I'd really appreciate that. And please turn on the notification bell so you get updates of when I upload new content to the channel. Thank you and goodbye.